The energy inside BravoCon 2025 was already electric, but no one, absolutely no one, was prepared for what Andy Cohen had planned. The Real Housewives of Orange County was turning 20, a milestone that demanded something iconic, something explosive, something that would shake the entire Bravo universe at its core. And while the crowd buzzed about potential cast shakeups, surprise appearances, and reunion-level drama, Andy held a secret so big that even production insiders couldn't believe he kept it quiet. Because for season 20, Andy wanted one thing, and one person: the return of the self-proclaimed OG of the OC, Vicki Gunvalson. The lights dimmed, music hit, cameras swung toward the stage. Vicki Gunvalson stepped forward, thinking she was there to present an award she once received herself, the prestigious Lifetime Achievement Award. She had her speech memorized, polished, rehearsed, but she had no idea her entire world was about to be flipped upside down on live TV. Andy gently grabbed her hand, something he never does unless something big is coming. And right then, the entire room froze. You could feel the anticipation crackle through the air like electricity searching for a place to land. "Vicki," Andy said, his voice calm but loaded with meaning, "would you join us as a housewife for season 20? A collective gasp ripped through the crowd. Fans jumped from their chairs. Cast members backstage reportedly screamed. And Vicki, stunned, emotional, overwhelmed, clutched her chest, hugged Andy, and shouted into the mic, "Yes." For the first time in years, Vicki Gunvalson held an orange again. Before we go any deeper into the chaos, the reactions, and the behind-the-scenes truth of how this all came together, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel, because what's coming next is the kind of housewife storytelling that doesn't just entertain, it shocks. Now let's get back into it. Vicki Gunvalson entered the Bravoverse in 2006, back when the Real Housewives of Orange County was still finding its identity. She wasn't just a cast member, she defined the show. Whether she was whooping it up in Mexico, arguing about family loyalty, or giving iconic one-liners that still circulate as memes today, Vicki shaped the foundation of what Housewives television became. So when she left full-time after season 13, fans felt the loss. Even when she appeared in cameo roles during seasons 17 and 18, she made it clear she wanted her orange back. She wanted to be a full-time housewife again, not someone floating on the sidelines. But Bravo wasn't ready. Not yet. Not until the anniversary season that needed a headline like this. During her November 15th podcast episode, Vicki revealed what she felt in the moment Andy asked the question that changed everything. "What a night! Tears. I cried," she said, her voice still trembling. "I was shaking because I didn't know if it was real." Imagine preparing a speech about women, motherhood, business, and suddenly being handed a dream you thought might never come again. She described the moment like an out-of-body experience, a blur, something unreal but perfect. When Andy asked the question, she didn't hesitate. She didn't consider the drama, the backlash, the pressure. She simply said yes. And then she admitted something that made fans scream. She's keeping the orange forever. "I'm going to put it in a dehydrator and put it on my wall next to my Lifetime Achievement Award," she joked. But you could hear the seriousness beneath the humor. That orange wasn't just a prop, it was a symbol of identity, legacy, and survival. What Vicki didn't expect, though, was the immediate explosion of support. She said the audience's standing ovation moved her to the core. But with love comes expectation. "I have a sense of responsibility to bring a really good show," she said. "I'm not going to let you down." And trust me, seasoned Housewives fans know exactly what that means. A returning Vicki doesn't walk back onto the show quietly. She brings conflict, she brings vulnerability, she brings intensity. And most importantly, she brings story. Which leads to the real question, why now? Why did Bravo decide that season 20 needed Vicki more than ever before? Behind the scenes, executives reportedly wanted the series to return to its roots. The nostalgia, the chaos, the real emotions that defined the early years. And while newer cast members have delivered drama, no one embodies Real Housewives of Orange County history the way Vicki does. But here's the twist. Vicki's return isn't just about celebration. It sets the stage for tension that's been simmering under the surface for years. Tension with former castmates, tension with Bravo, and even tension within Vicki herself. Because a comeback this big, it never happens without fallout. In the next part, we'll dive into the backstage drama, the cast reactions that Bravo didn't air, and the real reason Andy Cohen pushed for Vicki's return after years of hesitation. And trust me, what happened behind closed doors is even messier than what happened on stage. While the audience at BravoCon was cheering, crying, and filming Vicki's return like it was a historical event, and in Housewives culture it absolutely was, there was a very different atmosphere brewing backstage. Because anytime a legend comes back, especially an OG whose presence can shift the entire dynamic of the show, the current cast feels the tremor first. And what happened behind those curtains? Not everyone was thrilled. Several cast members, according to insiders at the event, had no idea Vicki was being brought back full-time. They expected a cameo, a cute surprise moment, something harmless. But when they saw Andy hand Vicki the orange, jaws dropped. Conversations stopped, and the whispers started almost instantly. Some were shocked, some were annoyed, and a few were downright threatened. Because Vicki doesn't just join a cast, she dominates it. Producers know this. Andy knows this. And deep down, every housewife who ever filmed with Vicki knows it too. Her energy, her intensity, her willingness to confront, defend, and explode without hesitation, it changes the temperature of a season before cameras even start rolling. One insider described the backstage vibe as icy with a smile, outwardly supportive, internally scrambling. Because the returning OG doesn't play by the new rules. She sets her own, and that's exactly why Andy wanted her for season 20. He wasn't just looking for nostalgia, he was looking for someone who could bring back the emotional honesty, the unpredictable chaos, the iconic meltdowns, and those totally unscripted, unforgettable moments Housewives fans still quote almost 20 years later. But as we dive deeper, here's the truth. Andy admitted privately at BravoCon. He'd been thinking about this for months. Season 20 was a milestone. 20 years of drama, friendships, betrayals, marriages, divorces, and some of the wildest reality TV moments ever filmed. And Andy wanted a season that honored the legacy, not just the modern version of the show. That meant bringing back the woman who put Real Housewives of Orange County on the map. The woman who never backed down. The woman who fought for her family, her business, her friends, and sometimes for absolutely nothing but the thrill of the argument. Vicki Gunvalson is the DNA of Real Housewives of Orange County. And he knew, if there was ever a time to do it, it was now. But here's the twist no one saw coming. Andy didn't just want Vicki for a cameo or nostalgia moment. He wanted her for the storyline that season 20 is gearing up to deliver. Because season 20 isn't just a throwback, it's a turning point. According to production whispers, new conflicts are already forming. Old grudges are already resurfacing. And Vicki? She's not walking in quietly. She's already telling friends she's ready to work, ready to go deep, and ready to show them who the real OG is. And you know Vicki. When she says she's ready for full-force hurricane-level Housewives drama. During her podcast, Vicki admitted she felt responsibility, pressure, excitement, but also something much bigger, something she hasn't said out loud in years. I'm not going to let you down. I'm really excited. That's not just enthusiasm, that's a promise. And when Vicki makes a promise to fans, she delivers. But let's talk about the audience reaction, because this part matters. That standing ovation wasn't just applause, it was a message. A roar, a collective scream of "We want the OG back." Vicki said the crowd's response made her emotional, motivated, and determined to step back into the spotlight with a fire she hasn't felt in years. And that's where the real turning point begins. Because Vicki Gunvalson isn't just returning to Real Housewives of Orange County. She's returning with purpose. She's returning to reclaim her title. She's returning to rewrite her legacy. She's returning to shake the entire cast into a season worthy of the 20-year milestone. And trust me, seasoned Housewives fans know this. When Vicki steps into a new season, someone always gets caught in the storm. Will it be an old rival? A new housewife who isn't ready? A long-buried issue resurfacing at the worst possible moment? Production is staying tight-lipped, but everything points to season 20 being one of the most dramatic seasons Real Housewives of Orange County has ever seen. Because when you mix new cast energy with the fire of an OG returning, things don't just get messy, they explode. And with Vicki still clutching her orange, literally planning to dehydrate it and hang it on her wall, there's no turning back now. The OG of the OC is home, and she's ready to make Season 20 unforgettable. If you're excited for Vicki's return and want more deep dives, breakdowns, and exclusive Housewives narrative scripts like this, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment telling us your reaction when Vicki said yes on that BravoCon stage.